Well, hey, what is up, everybody on the internet who is here watching this video? That was the smoothest intro ever. And I'm going to get started. I've got a little outline here to follow, so hopefully I don't lose you. Hopefully I don't repeat myself too much. So for starters, what you get in the box, if you didn't see my unboxing, you get the truck itself, which is 1/28 scale. It's a pretty similar size to the Baja Q32, actually, in wheelbase. It's just that, like a Slash, you know how it tracks a Slash, or some short course trucks are more of a 1/8 scale once you add the bumpers and stuff. This thing in total length is a little bigger than a Baja Q32, but if you actually pull this body off and kind of eliminate this back bit here, just pointing out that it's actually about the same size as a Q32, even though this is technically 1/28 scale and a Q32 is obviously 1/32 scale. The radio that this comes with, it's sized down a little bit from your typical pistol grip style radio that comes with a RTR setup, but it's comfortable. But it's also small enough that you can hand it over to a little kid. My daughter is 3 and she can actually manage this thing fairly well and cannot handle a regular RTR radio or anything like that, because the triggers are typically a little too far away for little fingers to reach out and actually pull the trigger. Or if they do pull it, they just jam it into the wall. Not that she doesn't still do that with this. But it also includes the 2 AA's that you need to pop into your radio here. And that makes this thing fully RTR because, like I said, it charges from the radio and that's all. There's a built-in battery, ESC receiver, all kind of integrated onto one little board inside of here, so you can't really upgrade, can't really do a whole lot with it as far as, you know, mods and repairs or anything. But as it comes out of the box, it is ready to go. You pop your batteries in here, you charge it, and most people even say it has at least a good 10 minutes of runtime just straight out of the box. So you are truly RTR on this thing. The charging itself takes roughly an hour. I haven't really sat and watched it, but it seems to take between 45 minutes to an hour. The craziest part, though, runtime is like 45 minutes plus on this. I'm not exaggerating. 30 minutes if you're doing like actually track running. Runtime on this thing is ridiculous. it is obviously geared down for runtime. It's still plenty fast for its size and everything. It's not really hurting for speed. I would say it's maybe a little slower than a Q32. The only downside with charging, I would say, is that I'm not a huge fan of this charge cable where the location is on it. I mean, I don't mind the charging from the radio, but something either retractable or something that you would maybe reel back in. I think that 2RC Productions has mentioned that the Airhogs, is it the Airhogs Hypertrax, I think, that has, he pointed out, has like a reel on it somewhere that just kind of reels the cable back in. It's kind of disappointing this is like this, because they kind of say, like, well, you just tuck it back in there and then, you know, try to close this and not pinch and cut the cable in half. So you basically end up just leaving it dangling all the time, and it just, I don't know, that just feels cheesy. Feels kind of lame. I wish they would have at least maybe put a little track in the side here for you to kind of tuck it away into or something like that. I don't know. That feels like they could have done better there. Move on to durability and build quality. I'll start with the body shell. The body shell on this thing it feels like some sort of PVC, and it is really solid. This thing is like, not to make you cringe, but seriously, this thing's insane. It's really, really a thick body. I wasn't really happy about these kind of odd cuts. And again, I don't know if I can make them show up. I tried to, if I make it against the dark, there we go. Yeah, you can kind of see if I focus in on that. The cuts on that are just not super smooth. Sticker placement is not great. It seems almost like on this one they maybe put that sticker too low or something and then kind of cut up around it, because the other side looks totally different. That looks more like what they were shooting for. And then you flip it over and it was like they went, whoop, fix it. No, there we go. Fits fine. Yeah, thumbs up. That works. So a lot of people have mentioned that on these. The sticker placement's just kind of meh. The bodies, if you look real close at them, the cuts are kind of meh. But as far as the body's quality, though, I'm very happy with it. I was totally cool with that. Just not great on the sticker placement and the body cuts. The body is not only the durable part of this thing, though, because I've actually ran it without the shell on it, because, like I said, this is a thick body, and it actually is fairly heavy. The thing feels noticeably quicker. If you take the body off of it, it feels a little snappier, a little more get up and go, a little more nimble. And even with the body off of it, this bumper seems to, I mean, granted, maybe I didn't hit it quite right, but these seem to have just enough give in these A-arms that they're really not, I'm not going to say not going to break, but I wrecked it awfully hard jumping it and stuff without the body on it so many times, and it's still in one piece. So just, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's going to come across like I'm being, you know, a little too positive on the durability on this thing, but seriously, I cannot believe how durable this is. And a lot of people have had serious issues with the durability of some smaller scale RCs, like the Torments. I don't know about maybe not Q32s, but like the ECX beatbox and kickflip, some of the low C micros and things. Of course, those you're doing a lot more power and stuff, but just to get something for $50 that feels like it basically can't be broken is awesome. I mean, granted, it's not going 30 miles an hour, it's going 10 or 12, but my daughter, the 3-year-old that I mentioned, she drives this thing, and when I say drives, she pulls the trigger and slams it into a concrete basement wall, and then it kind of goes boom, and then flips around, and then takes off another way. And though she has kind of destroyed the stickers on the front corners of this thing, like they're pretty much shot all the way around. I think she's even backed it into some stuff. This thing is crazy durable. It's kind of like just a small version of like a Slash, you know, with the durability being just compounded. I don't even know how many times, insert a big number here, by the fact that it is a short course body and not like a buggy body or some sort of open wheel design. It would have been cool though if they would have included a few extra clips, because these are those really small micro size body clips, and unless you have a lot of micros, you might not have a ton of these sitting around, and they require 3 to hold the body on, and there are 3 in the box. If you do lose one, I'll point out that a really small paper clip fits right in these holes and works just fine. So yeah, it doesn't look that great, but hey, it holds the body on. And then lastly, another thing about the body, right out of the box, a lot of people, including me, have said that this thing wants to lean. You'll look at it from the back and it will be, I believe it's this direction, tilted one way really hard. The way that you fix that, even though it looks like it's coming from your rear body post because it's, you know, twisting here, it's actually this mono post in the front, something to do with the way they package it. You just take the body off and twist that to kind of line it back up, put the body on, and you'll be straightened back out. It's a minor thing. And it seems like maybe something they should have fixed in, you know, testing whenever they were taking these things and pulling them out to check them out. You'd think someone would have went, hey, dude, every body is coming out of the box like this. But at least it's an easy fix, so it's not a huge deal. So on to my last kind of big category, actually. Driving this thing, the handling, and where all I've tried it and where it worked best. Like I said, it's a big category. So for starters, here's everywhere, or every surface, I guess, that I've tried it. I've tried it on a sidewalk. I've tried it in my basement, which is kind of a poured floor, concrete sort of deal. I've tried it on tennis courts, which is obviously that real sandpapery kind of concrete. I've tried it in some gravel, like bigger kind of driveway gravel, grass, laminate, tile, hardwood floors, and then carpet, both lower pile and kind of a medium pile carpet. The best two, as you probably will guess, were the concrete and then the low pile carpet. Anything higher than a real short carpet, this thing kind of bogs down a little bit in the turns, and that's actually due to the super, super grippy tires that this thing has. These tires are excellent on concrete. They're excellent on real short carpet, but on thicker carpet, it makes it to where in the turns, since this is kind of, there's no slippage in the rear. This is basically a solid axle. I guess if you want to call it that, it's mainly just for simplicity of design, but it is basically a solid axle. So in your turns with these better gripping tires, what ends up happening is that you can just see it kind of binding up on taller carpet. As far as grass, you're not going to run this thing in grass. As far as gravel, it wasn't exactly fun. I mean, technically, I guess you can get around on gravel, but it's just bouncing all over the place. It's not exactly drivable. So that all is probably not really a big surprise, but I know if I don't mention it, someone in the comments will say, where all can I drive this thing? So there, I've said it. It's out of the way. So for the two places that I really enjoyed driving it, my basement and then concrete, like sidewalks and things like that, I drove it the most in my basement. I ended up setting up a little track. I used a lot of cardboard boxes to build jumps and things like that. And I really had a blast with this thing in my basement. It's a perfect wintertime vehicle. It's okay on laminate and tile and stuff, but it's going to slip around just like you'd expect with something this small, even with the really grippy tires. something this size is just so light that you could have practically glue on the tires, and the thing is still going to slip a little bit if you go to turn really sharp on tile and things like that. The turning radius is great. The servo feels plenty fast. You know, it does have grippy tires, but just with something this small, I feel like it's something that everyone always points out. It handles kind of slippy on laminate and tile. They're so light that there's basically no grip. So it handles good for something this size on a slick surface. But you put it on something like concrete, on something like, you know, a basement floor or low carpet, this thing actually does feel like I'm not going to say exactly like, but very similar to a 1/10 or 1/12, you know, a larger scale short course truck. This thing handles really, really well, especially for a micro. I mean, you actually get the proportional steering. It's not like the ECX beatbox and stuff. You know, you do have good smooth, I mean, really smooth proportional steering on this thing. The throttle is punchy enough that you can actually, if it does slide, there's a little bit of save it that you can do, but it does slip around real quick on you if it starts to go. But you can kind of rescue it in the turns a little bit. When this was released, I just happened to be shopping around a lot for something small scale to try out and hadn't done anything this size in a very long time. My daughter was getting old enough that she could maybe try driving something small with me in the basement, you know, over the winter and things like that, and seemed interested. So I was interested in something durable. I didn't really care about upgradability. You know, I really can't see spending like 150 plus on like a low C micro or something like that. The Baja Q32, you lose the durability for a 3-year-old because obviously it's open wheel design. The Torment, I had seen all kinds of stuff of people popping dog bones and things like that, and you know, that really didn't sound great to me. I wanted something durable, and I wanted something that was affordable so that if she didn't get into it or whatever, I didn't have a lot of money invested. And she enjoys this thing. I enjoy this thing. I'm on the hunt again for another small scale so that we can drive together. And I'm getting about this close to just ordering another one of these because there's just not much out there that hits all the marks quite as consistently and as well as this does. It's not as fast as a low C micro. It's not upgradable, but you don't really have to deal with burning motors up because it runs plenty cool and runs forever. It feels like, as far as an affordable micro, is the best thing out there in my opinion. Now, granted, I haven't owned them all, but having owned this one, I think this one's great. Rich from 2RC Productions, I want to point you towards his channel, and Tim Gluth from RC Noob and SmallScaleRC. They're both really into the smaller scale vehicles, and they both seem to really like this thing. Rich in particular has at least one of these, and he's loving this thing. And he has a crap load of small scale RCs and seems to really, really like this one. Oh, and as a quick aside, I just want to put this in here. Right after this came out, Nitro RCX released a monster truck, a buggy, and a short course truck that are very, very clear. I'm not going to argue that. There's no disputing it. They're the exact same truck. Same radio, same truck, just different body. And I think maybe different tires and a body on the monster truck and buggy, but they're the exact same chassis. So those are $40, and they typically will run some free shipping deals on there. So a lot of people in my unboxing and things wanted to comment and say, hey, why would you not buy that? It's $10 cheaper. Or why would you not, buy that? They even had a 20% coupon back around Christmas and New Year's. That, in all honesty, I'm not sponsored by either one of these companies. They don't give me these things. They don't give me discounts. So this is my honest opinion on that. Those trucks, and that's if they have the 20% thing. If they don't, they're about the same price. But Tower Hobbies is where I got this one. That's where a lot of people are getting these. Once they're back in stock, that's where you can get them again. Tower Hobbies runs coupons all the time. If you're not a member of the Super Saver Club, that make this truck, if you just throw like a little bag of screws or something in with it, it tips up over the $50 mark so that you can use one of their coupons. It makes this thing shipped roughly $40-45, depending on whether you're a part of the Super Saver Club or not. Those trucks, without coupons and stuff, or with coupons, you're basically talking like a $5 difference, okay? For me, if those had already been out and this had been out, I personally still would have went with this because I really like the Nissan Lucas Oil. I like this truck. This is a cool looking little truck. So with that being said, with the price and everything, I guess it's really just which one you like the look of more. If you're looking at the buggy or the monster truck, I'm going to guess that you might actually end up breaking one of these plastic arms because the tires stick out from those bodies a little bit more. With the short course version of that one on their site, it's really just if you like that body or this one more. Everybody keeps trying to say, well, clearly it's not an actual Team Associated product, yada, yada, yada. let's be honest, anymore, all this stuff is just rebranded as whatever they want it to be. I hate to say it, that's just the way it is, you guys. It's the way it is these days. So if you're in the market for something like this and none of that bothers you, pick up this or pick up the one from NitroRCX. They're all really cool. Seem to be the same thing. The only thing I can't speak to is that since I've never tried one of those, who knows? Maybe the body's more flimsy. Maybe the plastic is lower grade. I don't know. They sure seem to be the same thing, though. In the end, this one in particular, I can highly recommend. As far as whether you should get those or whether you should get these, that's up to you. You know, I can't tell you what to do. That's just my 2 cents on the whole thing. So thanks for watching, you guys. If you've got any more questions, if I missed something, if you've got something that you would like for me to review, throw a suggestion. I'm always looking at RCs and things, so you never know. I might review your suggestion next time around. I might check one out. Thumbs up this video if you liked it, everybody, and leave a comment down below. Thumbs down it if you didn't, and tell me why, so that I can maybe do a little better next time around. I'll see you in the next video, everybody, and have a great day.